This options video aims to tell you all about the OCR GCSE 9 to 1 computer science course that we run here at King's. Over the next few slides, I'm going to tell you about the course and the way it's structured and what it could lead to in the future. So, computer science, the course itself is both a practical course in terms of programming and theory-based, and there are lots of units that are covered throughout the course. I'll go into more detail about those in a moment. The practical elements will require students to program using the programming language Python. This is a programming language that is recommended by OCR. The subject, the point of it is to develop students' computational thinking skills and logic, and inevitably there is a lot of maths involved. Students will have the opportunity to solve programming problems by designing and writing and debugging programs, and we learn about that process throughout the course as the course goes on. Students will be required to work independently as well as collaboratively, create in a creative manner and an analytical one too, on solving problems and solving particular tasks, especially in the programming element. The subject looks at the impacts of digital technology and also the wider society in which we live now, and also ethical issues too. The course overview. So the course is split into two main elements, the first of which is known as component 1. And in this particular section, I've listed there from 1.1 through to 1.6, the various units that are covered in the course. Within those units, there are lots of different topics, and I'll go on and explain about what the topics are for each one in just a moment. In terms of assessment, this is assessed in an hour-and-a-half exam at the end of the course in Year 11, and that is worth 50% of the GCSE as a whole. The other half is component 2. This particular paper, again, an hour-and-a-half paper, worth 50% of the GCSE, is very much the programming element of the course. It assesses that particular element of the course, and as you can see there are various units that are covered, and within those units there are multiple topics of which again I'll go through in just a moment too. So component 1, the first element, here are a list of the units and the topics contained within those units. So as you can see, systems architecture, we look at things like the CPU, von Neumann architecture and embedded systems. Memory and storage, we look at RAM, ROM, pros and cons of different storage devices. Networks, connections and protocols, we look at LANs, wide area networks, IP addressing, virtual networks, various topologies of networks too. Network security, different forms of attack on a network and network policies. System software, operating systems, utility software, that's covered. And the final unit, unit and the topics within that unit, ethical issues, Data Protection Act, and the Computer Misuse Act, and also copyright. So there's just a flavour of the topics covered in component 1. Again, that is assessed in an hour-and-a-half paper at the end of the course in Year 11, and that's worth 50% of the GCSE grade overall. The second component, here are the topics and the units. So we've got algorithms, we look at binary linear searching, we look at sorting as well, sorting algorithms. Programming, we look at the theory of programming, so sequence, selection and iteration, data types. Producing robust programs and ensuring that that a program is maintainable, the design considerations of a program. We look at Boolean logic, so we look at logic diagrams and things like truth tables. Programming languages, we do look at IDEs as well, so low level, high level languages, integrated development environments, and the tools and the added advantages that they give. And again, this is assessed in an hour and a half paper, and again, 50% of the GCSE. There is a practical programming element, and all students will be given the opportunity to undertake programming tasks in the course. It will allow them to develop the skills to design and write and test and refine a program that they build. They will be assessed on these skills during the second component in that paper, and that particular element is very much in the second component in section B of that particular paper. Looking ahead to the future, where does this lead to? Well, if students want to go on to higher study of computer science, obviously this is a good stepping stone for that. Learners that have taken a computer science GCSE and who then progress to study the subject at A level or even university will have this hopes to soundly underpin the knowledge that they will need in those particular areas. For further information on the course, head towards the OCR website, as that is the examining board. Computer Science J277. The link is there for you to search, and also you're welcome to come and see me up in the Daymark building. I will happily go through the course and what's involved if you need to. Okay, thank you very much.